It's NTV at 1. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Priscilla Regina Naluoga. Now, in just an hour from now, President Museveni is expected to address the nation and update it on the annual State of the Nation address. Since last year's State of the Nation address, Uganda has registered both positive and negatives across various sectors. Uganda has reported progress in judicial reforms, trade, health services, and sports, with concerns over corruption and poor road infrastructure. Now we get to look at some of the improvements. For example, under the Human Rights Outlook, the average time taken from filing to disposal of cases has seen a significant reduction over the past few years. In the financial year 2021, the average time it took was 1,074 days, approximately 3 years. But by 2023-2024, this had decreased to 891 days, or about 2.5 years. This reflects a positive trend in improving case processing efficiency. Still under judiciary, as of 2023, courts were dealing with a pending backlog of 178,986 cases. Of these, 45,611 cases were classified as backlog, accounting for 25.48% of the total cases in the system. This marks an improvement from the previous year, 2023, which recorded a backlog percentage of 27.02%. Still last year, 78 new judges were appointed, contributing to a total of 689 judicial officers in the country, with 100 justices and 589 magistrates at various ranks. The appointment of additional judges is part of efforts to address the increasing caseload. Additionally, the Judicial Amendment Act 2024, passed by Parliament, did increase the number of justices in the Court of Appeal from 15 to 35, including the Deputy Chief Justice. Now, despite these advancements, challenges persist, such as the inability to raise quorum at the Supreme Court, limited budgetary provisions, and corruption within the judicial system. Now, let's look at the rule of law. While progress has been made in some areas, the rule of law in Uganda has been undermined by ongoing violations, particularly the continued abduction and torture of opposition supporters. This has cast a dark shadow over the country's legal and human rights landscape. Furthermore, despite a court ruling on January 31st halting the practice, civilians continue to be tried in military courts, which further challenges the integrity of the rule of law. Another key area that he will be talking about is security. Now, in terms of security, Uganda has made notable progress in combating insecurity within its borders. The country continues to play a key role in resolving regional conflicts, contributing to peace efforts across East Africa. While challenges do remain, Uganda's security situation has improved, providing a more stable environment for its citizens. And of course, looking at the economy in the last 365 days, Uganda's economy has seen growth in its external trade. Merchandise exports increased by 40.6%, reaching $899.10 million US, and this is in March 2025, compared to $639.63 million US in 2024. At the same time, merchandise imports grew by 7.3%, rising from $1.037 billion US in March 2024 to $1.112 billion US in March 2025. Now, these improvements reflect a strengthening economy with increasing trade activity and economic integration. There's also the health sector that we would want to hear of in the State of the Nation address, also having seen improvements with the commissioning of 398 newly built or upgraded health centers as of April 2025. Now, these centers were funded by the government through World Bank support. However, challenges persist as the Ministry of Health has struggled to complete or upgrade many other health centers despite receiving funding as early as 2018. Additionally, the government has failed to adequately fund Mulago Referral Hospital, which receives only 18 billion Ugandan shillings, far below the 101 billion Ugandan shillings allocated in the budget. And of course, the sports sector, the construction of sports infrastructure is ongoing, with stadia being developed in Hoima and Lira and training centers being built in Chambogo, Kadiba and Wankurukuku in preparation for the upcoming African Nations Championships, that is CHAN. Now, these developments are part of a broader effort to improve the country's sports infrastructure as well as support national teams. When we look at national electrification, Uganda's electricity generation capacity reached 2,046 megawatts in 2024, a significant increase from the average demand of 1,000 megawatts. This growth in capacity has largely been due to the commissioning of the Karuma hydropower dam in September 2024, which will help meet the country's growing energy needs as well as support economic development. Not forgetting the promise of oil and gas production kicking off in 2025, Uganda's oil and gas sector is poised for a significant shift, with officials confirming that commercial oil production is expected to begin next year. However, due to the ongoing construction of critical infrastructure such as the East African crude oil pipeline, observers predict that the full-scale production may not occur until 2027 or 2028. Now, despite these delays, Uganda is on track to become a major player in the oil industry in the coming years.